Welcome to BBC London News with me, Alex Bushell. A group representing survivors of abuse in South London is threatening to pull out of a national public inquiry. That's if the recently appointed chair presides over their allegations of abuse whilst in the care of Lambeth Council. The Shirley Oaks Survivors Association believes Professor Alexis Jay, who is a former social worker, has a potential conflict of interest. Our Home Affairs correspondent Nick Beake reports.
From watching this grainy old 8mm footage, you'd think Shirley Oaks Children's Home was some sort of paradise. But now, more than 600 former residents have come forward to say they were abused there over decades.
I was abused racially, so I was called a gollywog. I was beat with a slipper for wetting my bed, and I was sexually abused.
Dave was just a year old when he was sent to the home in 1970. After years of silence, he spoke out today for the first time because he doesn't want other children in care to suffer like he did.
They're going to come into our system, and if they end up in the same system that I end up in, that's going to be a travesty. I haven't told anybody because it's something I feel ashamed about. It's something I felt guilty about. That's why I haven't told anybody. But now it's time to speak.
Without doubt, you are the bravest of the bravest.
Former Shirley Oaks residents are now playing a key role in the National Child Sexual Abuse Public Inquiry set up 2 years ago. It's made up of 13 separate investigations, focusing on allegations against religious organisations, the armed forces, and crucially, abuse and cover-ups in Lambeth. But these campaigners are now threatening to pull out because the new chair, the inquiry's fourth, Professor Alexis Jay, is herself a former senior social worker.
How insensitive can they be, especially after we went to the hearing and explained that we would be pursuing the social services for their failings, and then 2 weeks later we're finding out a social service person is heading the inquiry. This is an absolute conflict of interest.
And one London MP believes Professor Jay should step aside for the part of the inquiry which looks specifically at Lambeth.
I don't think you could ignore this issue, because what you could end up with is carrying on the inquiry reporting and then the report lacking credibility because it doesn't command the confidence of the survivors.
The inquiry said tonight it would be fair and consistent, and that Professor Jay was chosen because of her experience in the area of child sexual abuse and institutional failure. But this huge investigation has already lost 3 chairs, and now the largest survivors group cooperating with it is also threatening to walk away. Nick Beake, BBC London News.